Hello fish fools, Jeff here. So I was looking at my 10-gallon Guppy and Endler hybrid tank, and I noticed this little formation here, which I think is kind of cool looking. This is Riccia Fluitans, and it kind of looks like a tornado. Kind of like spiral shaped, right here up to the surface. It's like a little bit of, like a strand of Java moss that it got tangled on and just kind of grew around that. And I think it looks really cool. It's something I would, if I tried to attempt to make it like that, I think it would be difficult to attempt to do, and it just did this naturally. I wonder if any more experienced aquascapers or ever, if they were aware of this kind of thing, they might try to create something like that. But that's pretty cool. So what's going on with this tank? I do have the fry in this breeder box. It was the first time I attempted this breeder to let fish give birth in a breeder box. So it was kind of like an experiment, so I'm just sticking with that experiment, just leaving them in there. I was going to do that until I could sex them, because I want to select a few from this batch to move to my Neocaridina shrimp tank. So I want to put a few fish in there. So the plan I have is to put a male and 2 females. So they're probably old enough to determine male and female, because you can see some have gravid spots, and those will be the females. And of course the other fish are all swimming in front of it, getting in the way. And some of those females that have noticeable little gravid spots have a little bit of coloring on their tails. And probably the biggest fish in there is, where is it? If I can stay in focus better. Probably this one in the top left right there, that has no coloring at all, and that would be a male. So it has no gravid spot, but it has, right now, less coloring than the females. But I mean, not that the females have any, just a little bit on their tails. But I'm waiting for him to show some coloring, because what I want to do is, if it's, because these are all Guppy and Endler hybrids, but I want to choose one that looks like more like black bar Endler type coloring, like one like this, as opposed to one of these yellow cobra type looking ones. So if that does indeed turn out to be like a black bar, there it is right there, have a black bar pattern, that's the one. So I'm waiting for it to show coloring so I can pick that. And as far as the females, any female will do. So, but I'll just do it at the same time. And so I'm going to take one of these females, which would be a Guppy and Endler hybrid, but I'm also going to take a female from my my 10-gallon, it's actually going to be my quarantine tank that has feeder guppies in it. So I want to do some mixing up with some feeder guppies or wild guppies or common guppies or whatever you'd want to call those. Because the males do actually produce, like, you know, they're not big and fancy with bigger guppy tails, but they have some pretty neat coloring, like little, and they kind of smaller like Endlers. But yeah, that's what I want to do. And I recently mentioned that I was disappointed with the Amano shrimp in here. Like there's one right there. Because they weren't eating the hair algae as much as I would have liked them to, if they even have it all. So I did have a bunch of Java moss here with that was all tangled with hair algae. So I just, last water change, I just pulled it all out. So what remains is, looks to be mostly free of hair algae, at least not noticeable. So hopefully, like this, they'll be able to maintain and keep up with it. Maybe there was just so much. And as the Java moss grows, it grows pretty fast, but yeah, you may have noticed I'm kind of like struggling here because my cat was getting in the way. That was Muchacho. But yeah, this is cool. This tornado shaped formation of Riccia Fluitans. We'll see if it can maintain like that, because once I do a next water change, you know, dropping the water, it might disturb it some, but as is now, that's cool. And if I do, it does get messed up doing a water change, if I, you know, I don't know if I'll be able to fix it. So this might be the one and only time showing it like this. But if anybody has Riccia Fluitans out there, or does any aquascaping, or know somebody that does, and you think this is a, you know, might be something cool to do with your Riccia Fluitans, go ahead and share it with them. They might, you know, give them some ideas. But yeah. Now let's look at some of these cool looking fish. This one right there is cool. Like, I like it's some of these, when they spread their dorsal fins, the patterns on those are so pretty awesome. Kind of like, just kind of look like a crown, sort of. So I was noticing that there she is. The female guppy, this is the original mother right there. So she's, you know, the original female mother that produced most of these, or, you know, started with all these, and then the original father was an Endler, a black bar Endler, and let's see if I can recognize, yeah, this one right here. That's the original father. So he's still fine and healthy and everything, but where'd she go? But the original mother guppy has a lot of mileage on her, so she's pretty worn out. I mean, it was over a year ago since I got her, I think. So, yeah. I think she'll be on her way up pretty soon. You know, maybe I would figure she'd be on like the lower end of like a full lifespan for a guppy, but just because she's been a lot of mileage on her, and you know, that's going to take a toll. So she's all hunched over and just going to live out her life. Probably not going to be that much longer. Alright, let's look at the Riccia Fluitans tornado formation again before we end this. Pretty cool looking. Alright. And that's it for now. And remember, I'm Jeff, and I enjoy fishies. Thanks for watching.